Hey everybody, this is yet another quick impressions video for the Orchestral album to Turrican 2 that just came out. I got my copy a couple days ago after backing the Kickstarter several months previous, and gave it a quick listen. I want to keep this short as I'm exhausted and I don't want this video to kill me, so how is it? It's good. It's really good. The album features 10 pieces from Turrican 2 arranged for orchestra. This is music not just for a game, but an action game, so the music keeps up a high demand of excitement rather well without ever becoming dull. Because the inspiration for Turrican was essentially a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s, I can't help but feel if the music followed suit. The Desert Rocks has always had a very Mega Man feel to me, and there's a sentence straight out of the 90s Batman animated series in a couple of the tracks, particularly the 8th track, The Final Challenge. I think anyone who knows that show's music will know what I'm talking about when they listen to that piece. But Turrican's music still remarkably feels like something all its own. A lot of jazzy, hip beats propel a piece forward as the main melodious line floats over, giving the music a linear feel, but a darn good one. They went to Marignan to make sure these pieces flourish, and it was a good choice. Sometimes they have the tendency to go a little bit nuts in terms of aggression and color, but Roger Wanamo and John Valtonen are a bit more reserved here. Of course, they always do a great job of staying faithful to the source material while honing their spectacular ability to orchestrate in such a way where the piece's tone and color isn't weighed down by tradition or repetition. That's not an affront to the original tunes, that's its own thing, but when it comes to expanding these pieces and adapting them to orchestra, you have to be ready to make changes where needed. Marignan came through, as they always have. It's like the harder they work, the more they try to hide their actual Marignan from existence. Where's Volume 3, you bunch of no good... Yeah. I'm not blown away by this album or anything, but I am absolutely elated about it. It's just fun to hear an orchestra play this music. I've always liked a lot of the earworm-prone pieces of the earlier Turrican games, especially with how ambitious they were despite technical limitations. It is ear candy. The expanded dynamics and tone, along with all the extra little touches, help show a lot of the rich character and vibrancy that Turrican carries. And it carries far. Track 7, The Wall, is given a lot of enthusiasm by the strings despite guttural growling by tuba or trombones that meld with its slamming percussion. A clarinet's ghostly moan over the ostinato of strings in the middle of the piece is the highlight. The Desert Rocks is probably my favorite of the bunch, with two melodies that feel quite juxtaposed to one another. The first is played by the brass and it's very optimistic. The second is more exotic and depressed. The first time the second plays, the brass has quick interference like a guy punching dudes out. It's particularly exhilarating to hear the second melody evolve from its melancholic shell into a final reprise of the stronger theme. There's drama here, but a lot of it is carried with a certain lightness, more prone to getting you to tap your foot than lean forward in suspense, which is why a piece like The Great Bath really stands out. The orchestra is in counterpoint much of the time with a light piano in the beginning, its cool sound blending nicely with that honeywood oboe. A 5-note theme is tossed from one instrument to another at a slower than usual pace. Its most resonant moment enters after a gradual crescendo by a soft, mystifying flute. It's very pretty and thematic. You get a really fun, very animated body of work that pays great tribute to its source material while also managing to be its own thing. I think there's still time to get a copy if you're interested, and I would go get it as soon as you possibly can if there is time. I know the Kickstarter page is obviously still up, and if you click on that, you'll be led to the Mega Founder website. And it still looks like there's copies available there, so if you can, go for it, man, as soon as you can. I highly recommend it. Comes in a nice jewel case. Go out and get it. Hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you next time.